Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Collective Spotlight. This is now our third in a row. We're hitting the ground running. I got some good guests for the month of February, and I'm starting it off with something that I think is really cool. We're getting the creative minds behind holiday spirits here. Thankfully, I have Jerome, who I believe a lot of this is his brainchild, and then we have Travis, who with Orange Cone Productions. Travis Gibb made it possible. So this is a great collab between these two guys. I know Jerome and Travis have worked together for what feels like forever. Jerome, all the way from Canada, there on the bottom screen. Travis, you guys have seen his face plenty. He's on the top right. Fellas, how are you doing today?
Doing great.
Travis, you're muted.
I said I'm confused, but I'm good.
Oh, are you ever not confused?
Most of the time, I can fake it pretty well. But I randomly got money into my account, and I'm excited about it. I just don't know where it came from, so I assume somebody wants something from it.
Somebody wants something from you, or they were late to get it. They owed you something.
Yeah, like if someone doesn't pay someone on time, right? It could be.
Yeah. So, or like if somebody doesn't ever tell me how much I owe him, because I think I still owe Jerome for like projects from 2021. But anyways, guys, so I'm going to start with Jerome, because even though I know this is an Orange Cone production, this Holiday Spirits has always kind of been Jerome's baby. I believe he kind of came to you with this. Is that correct, guys? That you kind of had always had this Jerome, and then you have worked with Travis, and you guys collaborated on this at the end.
Yeah, actually, that's an idea that I discussed. An idea that came up to me while we were doing the first volume of Cthulhu Invades, the Cthulhu Invades Oz book. We were putting the final touch on the book and during the holidays. So while I was working on that, like the concept, that the idea came to my mind. I was wondering if there was a lot of books about horror stories taking place around Christmas and the holidays. So, and apparently there isn't a lot. And the name came to me like right away, like before starting to really think about it. The name came really fast, and I discussed the idea with Travis, and he said, "Yeah, that could be a good idea for a Kickstarter." But you live in Canada, and the shipping costs very high, right? So Travis helped me out with the campaign, and he offered me to take charge of the whole campaign and the shipping and everything behind the book production.
So you've been able to work with a lot of cool people. I know Travis has written in both of these, if I'm not mistaken. You had Jonathan Hedrick in the first one. In this most recent one, Volume 2, Jerome, man, you got Travis and Heather. You have Steph Cannon and Matt Knowles, who have worked with Scout and Scoot. You have Adam Barnhart, who works with Scout and is a writer for comicbook.com. You have Brian Hawkins, who's worked with everyone. You have who else? David Galliano, who we know from Mad Cave, and he's a local to us. Stoney Williams, also from Mad Cave. Travis, you're in here twice. That's not fair. But how did you end up? How much did you go out and reach out to these people? How much did people reach out to you? How do you go about putting together your creative team for an anthology book like this?
Well, some of them I've known from different projects that I've worked on with them. Some worked on Cthulhu Invades Oz and Wonderland. Some just knew that they were like Brian Hawkins. I haven't worked with him previously, but I exchanged a few times with him on Twitter and Facebook, and yeah. So there's different ways. There different. I knew them from previous works or social medias.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it's funny because it's all like 10 degrees of Kevin Bacon or 10 degrees of Brian Hawkins. Because I think Brian Hawkins was David Galliano's editor at Mad Cave for Savage Bastards, and there's a lot of cool connections here between people. Travis, Jerome won't. He's a modest Canadian, and I know he's not gonna gloat about himself. But you've worked with Jerome as your letterer and production designer for a lot. I mean, pretty much everything Orange Cone. Tell us a little bit about Jerome and how hard he worked. Everything that he does for Orange Cone, and other than Holiday Spirits, what does Jerome do for you guys?
I've been meaning to say this, but he's really lazy. And I've been wanting to address it, and thank you that someone finally gives me the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, he always owes me something. And some may say that I give him too much work, but I don't think that that's true. I think it's laziness. Most letterers who do Kickstarter comics can do, 10 or 12 books, a quarter, but apparently Jerome can't. No. Jerome, I mean, he's repping me in Canada last weekend. He's has Orange Cone banners up selling Orange Cone property. He is as much of this company as possible. He's flying down to hang out with us at Gagnon. So if you're in the Orlando area and you want to meet Jerome, so when he came to Holiday Spirits, dude, you want to do a book? What do you want it to be about? Let's put our logo on it. The only stipulation that I ever made on the book was it's got to be an Orange Cone book, and Orange Cone doesn't do typical anthologies. So that's where we added the spirit part of it, where the spirits tell the stories. And even in this one, I'm not in it twice, part 1 and part 2. It's the same thing. It's the same story. It's just beginning and end. Because we do wraparound stories like in Cthulhu Invades Oz and Holiday Spirits. But Jerome does all of our lettering, all of our graphics, all of our production. And now that I'm working in different stuff, like it's so crazy having someone like Jerome. Like I think I got the pick of the lotto. This book right here. One day he messages me. Oh, actually, I haven't touched this. This is a better cover than last time. Anyways, he messages me and goes, "Oh, here's a book." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, yeah, it's all done. Here you go." Like a printed book. Even like you, I remember when I came to you, Danny, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I have a new book, Christmas in July." He's like, "When did that come from?" "I don't know. Jerome just sent it to me."
We're printing it. It's happening.
We're printing it. It's a thing. So these things happen because Jerome is just as much in this company as I am. Can make just as many calls. Him and my wife team up on me. There's something I want to happen, and they have repeatedly told me no. The Coins of Judas is an example. There's a better example, but I'm not going to put them under the bus for that. But Coins of Judas, the red and white fights that are in there, like the manga style fights. I hate it with every ounce of my being. But you know what? Jerome and Heather, they think it's fine. So
I think it's great.
So really, he's made my life miserable, is to sum up what's going on. I'm happy to have him, but
it works both ways.
Happy to have him. No, he's a part of my thing. I couldn't do anything. I wouldn't be nearly as successful without Jerome. And I'm going to take Jerome as high as I can go. Like, I can't wait till one day, and it's going to happen, that we're going to get to go to a premiere at the party. And I'm not going to take a fucking picture without Jerome and my wife. Because, he's going to be like that, yeah, right. Look, it's you and your wife. Who's this other guy? He just hangs out. It's
well, and actually that's funny because so Travis, you just had your first let's just call it solo mainline diamond distributed comic with Coins of Judas. A couple months back, Jerome, in his own way, had that experience because Jerome, right? You had Dead Kingdom come out.
Yeah.
Yep. And so you've gotten to go the diamond route. You've gotten to see what that is. You've done tons of Kickstarters. Tell me a little bit about what Dead Kingdom was and what it was like to then have something be done through Diamond with your name on it.
Well, the Dead Kingdom was that happened really in a really weird way because my friend Etienne worked on this book on his own for many years. He wrote the whole story. He drew the whole story as well, and at some point one day, we have a friend. His name is Ben Ferrari. He has a book at Red 5, which is called Carriers, and it's just sent. He sent a message to Ben. He said, "Would you like to read my story and just give me feedback?" And he took the whole book. He sent it to Red 5, and the week right after Red 5 contacted it, and it said they say, we want to publish your book. So it was like, what is this happening? So it happened already really fast. um so I said, okay, I can help you with the lettering, and we're gonna package this real quick, and will be done. So we didn't really add to dwell and do and understand the previews, the all the that behind the scene thing, because Red 5 took all that on them. So, but I've learned a lot more on that doing Coins of Judas, because Travis took most of this on him to make sure that everything works fine. So all Travis kept messaging me that he needs a cover, he needs the logo done by then, like that date, the covers then, and so while we were doing other Kickstarters. So, yeah, we learned that the hard way, but the fast way on Coins of Judas, much more than with Dead Kingdom, I'd say.
Nice. And as Travis just showed that so technically Holiday Spirits, you have 3 books in the universe now, if you include Christmas in July. So when you had this little idea, did you ever think you'd get to this point that you have 2 volumes, a one-shot flip book? And I'm guessing you're probably planning a volume 3 if it all works out. So did you ever think it would turn into that, or did you kind of think this will be a one and done, and here we go, let's try it?
Well, I always hoped that we'd do 3 volumes, but the idea was to just start with one and see if it works. The Christmas in July was really just a way to make some promo during the Montreal Comic Con, because Montreal's Comic Con is in July, first weekend of July, and I wanted to attend that. Last summer, it was my first time attending a con with books on the table, so it was first experience. I wanted to show off my book, but a Christmas book on the in middle of July, I was really feeling weird about that. So I had this idea for the Christmas in July spin-off, and it did well. I think people liked it, and we're doing a second one for this summer as well.
Awesome.
So we all we still 3 stories, but all exclusive to that one, and they're all in the works right now. So, and volume 3 is still in the works, and it's gonna be massive, because there's a lot of people that I've contacted more people for the 3rd volume, because for volume 2 some of the creators had to quit for a personal reason during the year. So just in case, I wanted to make sure that I have a backup, so I contacted more people, and some other people contacted us, contacted Travis or myself to get included in the book. So yeah, the volume 3 is gonna be a really thick book.
Well, I want to say this about
Travis writing in it, because if Travis is writing in it, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Travis is doing. He's always doing the opening and closing story, because, like, almost like the Tales from the Crypt, we have sort of a crypt keeper, some characters that are going through the book with us. So Travis is taking that part.
Yeah, one of the things I like about Holiday Spirits, when you pair, the talent, I think it's partly our voice in the community, where Jerome and I are from where we started. So we're getting better and better talent each book. But I like that Jerome actively seeks out people who don't have a lot of credit to make sure that they can get a leg up, so every book has people who I'm like, Jerome, I don't know this guy. And he's like, I know them. And I was like, it's hard because I'm like, but this is, oh, it's not my book. All right, I guess we can do whatever you want, Jerome. But I also love that too, because it gives new voices, it gives people a chance, it gives bigger names pressed up. And, some of the names we have for volume 3 are wild. They're huge names, I mean, just in 1 and 2, we got Brian Hawkins, who's big over at the Aftershock, finishing up Vineyard. For issue 1, we had Jonathan Hendricks, myself, leveling up, doing a lot of stuff. There's some cool names going. And then issue 3 is no slouch itself. Like, there's so many people.
So Travis, in volume 2, your story is Krampus oriented. What was it like getting to write Krampus? Did you do research, or did you just go off of The Office?
So Krampus is it's the Krampus killer, my story. I don't actually write the Krampus. Krampus is in this world, in my world, he's a serial killer who used to dress up as Krampus. So in the first issue, it's about him being electrocuted, and he's visited by the 3 spirits, spirits of past, present, and future. In volume 2, it's a prequel to that. We're actually going backwards in our storytelling. So it's a prequel of when he's on trial, because they know that he was involved, but they found 0 bodies. So they're trying to put him on trial of a whole bunch of, you were here, you were here, you were here, we have weapons, like all these other things, but they had no bodies. So this detective is saying, what about this horror story I've heard? What about this one? Sharing all these horror stories. And then he, at the end, in great detail, says how he murdered everyone, and a beautiful 12 Days of Christmas motif that I wrote.
Beautiful rendition.
It is a beautiful rendition. I was very proud of that. Very, very proud. And then in the next volume, we're actually going to go even further and figure out what made him to be the Krampus killer, like how he became that.
So Jerome, Travis, so his stories are interconnected. Are other stories, is this supposed to all be like one universe and it's all taking place, or have you kind of let everybody take their liberty? Is it kind of how you want to see it?
No. Travis, only Travis stories are connected one to another. Actually, he's Travis and Don Nguyen are the only ones that are coming back from one volume to the next, but they're like their story is the setting stone of the book, but all the stories they don't connect one to another.
Okay, cool. Jerome, since you're kind of, you're the mastermind of it all, but you probably lettered everything, so you've had to read it more times than you'd like. You want to tell us a little bit about what each story what we can expect? And then Travis already took care of his, but would you be able to kind of go through there and let people know what to expect in the different ones?
Yeah, sure. So we have.
I can remind you if you need to remember the names.
Yeah. Please, you have it.
So we have Heather's Black Friday that follows Travis's Krampus Part 1.
Okay, yeah. So that one is Heather is Travis's wife. So she came up with the story about the Black Friday, the madness of the Black Friday, and in that one you can see how wild it can go in the shopping malls during the holidays, and it's wild. There's a kaiju in the story, and yeah.
That is awesome. And I just noticed that the art is done by the Bags Brothers, which are working with Travis on some other projects, and they're going to be at MegaCon as well. So this book can be 6 Truple signed at MegaCon, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then after that, we have Raising Spirits. That's the Steph Cannon, Matt Knowles book with Kurt Belcher on art, actually.
Yeah. Well, Matt Knowles and Steph. Well, I approached them to be in the book. They were super excited to be part of this. It's really something that it's right up their alley. They wanted to. At first, they want to write a story about Krampus, but I said, nope, we're gonna keep that one exclusive for Travis because it happens that everyone wants to write about Krampus, but we don't want to have like all a Krampus focus book. Maybe we could do that sometime.
Yeah.
All stories about Krampus, but yeah, they
What
wrote
about the
story.
July special?
What?
That would be the July
special.
Krampus special.
So they wrote this story about very special naughty list. Actually, when your name is on the naughty list, you get possessed, and yeah, you get possessed by that naughty list, and it makes you do some really bad stuff.
Cool. I like that. That's cool. Yeah, I like these so far. And then
there's something pretty funny about this story because it opens up in a diner, and actually I didn't knew it. I knew it. I learned about it on Twitter. The diner actually exists. It's in Boston.
Oh.
And the people from the diner are super excited to be in a book.
That's awesome. It's in Boston, Massachusetts, you said?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I was gonna say, leave it to Matt to do something like that. I love those guys. You have Eighth Night by Tom Ravitt.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about. I've worked with Tom on a short story, and he story. I saw a couple of stories that he wrote, and his stories are wild, really wild.
Yeah. So Tom's story took us a long time to translate, but because it uses a lot of Hanukkah traditions.
Yeah.
So
that's what I figured when it was titled Eighth Night. So that one is Hanukkah related.
Yeah, so it's like visiting your ancestors as part of your Hanukkah rituals when you light the candle and what that looks like. It's pretty wild, but I like it. I like it, and the art is killer.
And that's cool that you guys mix it up, because I was going to ask if other holidays were in there, because obviously I'm sure you guys know plenty of creators that can do that. So that's awesome.
That's a goal. That's a goal that we want to. That's a focus that we want. I don't want all the stories to be exclusively about Christmas. That's why we have the Black Friday and to start off, because it's not really Christmas, but it's all around. It's around the holidays. So
the holiday season, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Doesn't matter what holiday. Black Friday is celebrated by everybody. The next one is a creator that I was really excited to see you had on here, which is Adam Barnhart. His story is Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. I love Adam. How did you get together with him, and what's his story? What can we expect from his story?
Well, he approached me to letter one of his books, and I said sure. And while we're at it, do you want to write a story for all of this? He said, I'd love to. I think that he actually got the first volume, and he loved it. So it was an art to get involved in this one.
I love Adam. He actually just backed our Kickstarter, the Tales Collective Halloween. I just shipped his out, but he's a big supporter of everybody. I'm surprised. He's one of those guys where definitely it's the same $20 bill just moving around. Let's see. You got Brian doing the Santa slasher. Is that one going to be kind of like a serial killer kind of? Story?
It's totally a love letter to all the slashers movie. Brian Hawkins is he's a real Scream fan. That's his favorite horror franchise, and they played it exactly like a Scream movie. I forgot when I talked about him earlier, but that's actually was Travis' idea to get Brian, and he suggested the idea of matching Brian and my friend Etienne, and they did really a good job together, and they worked well together. So that was a good match.
Awesome. The other two I want to ask you about, because I love these two guys. I'm going to start with David Galliano's story, which is My Dear Lady. and deer is spelled like the animal. So I'm guessing
Mhm.
we're talking reindeer here, something like that with David's story, right?
Yeah, that's actually from Native American and Native American mythology story. So it's well, it's not like the actual story, but it's loosely based on the that folklore story.
Nice. And my favorite thing here is that you allowed Stony to not just write a story, but you let Stony color his story, so he got to use both of his
Hmm.
skills at once. But you have good old friend of ours, Stony Williams, writing All Good Children, and that one's towards the end of the book, right before the H.P. Lovecraft kind of
Yeah,
story. What is Stony's kind of expectation there?
his story is about more a Northern European folk tale. It's about the Yule Cat and what's I don't remember the name of the old lady. Do you, Travis, the name?
Oh no, off the top of my head, no. I don't.
I'll try to
I don't
find
like
it.
Stony. No, I don't remember actually. Trying to see if I can look it up. Um, yeah,
Got
it's
it,
a
Travis.
German. It's German folklore, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
and the artist who drew that story is actually the artist that we have on Voodoo Nations.
Yeah, it's
Oh, that's
yeah, and it's about Yule.
Yeah,
yeah. And then the following story is actually the H.P. Lovecraft Yule horror adaptation by Nick O'Garman. Was it pretty much a no-brainer to put some Lovecraft stuff in there too?
well, the idea was because simply because I met Nick at Montreal's Comic Con, and we chatted a little bit, and he knew about the holiday spirits, and I said, "Would you like to do something in it?" And Nick's specialties is all the Lovecraft stuff. He adapts the Lovecraft stories, and he said, "Well, I did an adaptation of that poem like a few years ago. I can redo it. It was like 2 page, and he did like I think it was 10 years ago that he did that. So he wanted to actualize it. So
So that
that's why we came out with that one.
that's awesome. So you end up having with Travis's opening and close 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different stories in here, which is awesome. That grows a little bit from volume one.
Yeah.
Travis, last question before I kind of get us all out of here. What is it like having to open and close a anthology like that?
Oh, that was kind of my one requirement. Like I said, it's important for Orange Cone if we do anthologies to make them all matter. So when you buy an anthology off the shelf, any random anthology, you base every story by itself, right? Every story you're like, oh, I like that one. I didn't like this one. When you tie them all together in a nice knot, like Cthulhu Invades Wonderland or Oz, if you say you don't like one, you're saying you don't like the whole thing. So it's a trick to make sure that you like the whole book, not just part of it. So it's a long con. It's a long
Travis
con.
is full of long cons.
But yeah, it's we want to tell serialized storytelling. So that's a way that we make this serialized storytelling.
And I want to show off the covers. Is this supposed to be a Frank Frazetta homage, kind of?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, because I was gonna say it's very Frazetta-esque. This is your main
Death Dealer homage.
Yes. Then I love doing the Dr. Seuss homage here.
Mm-hmm.
Grinch, yep.
And then you've got the Miracle. Is this the Miracle on 30?
Yep, Miracle on 34.
So
All
lots
homage.
of homages.
Well,
All of these are just $19.99, which is great price for this. It's great quality book. Again, 12 stories. Guys, just let everybody know where they can find you. I know everybody knows where they can kind of find Travis. Jerome, where are you on the internet?
you can find me on Facebook, of course. Just look up my name, and you can find me on Twitter as well and Instagram. I'm pretty easy to find.
Travis, where are you?
I'm sorry, I'm really tired. OrangeCoatProductions.com or TravisGibb.substack.com.
Perfect, guys. Thank you so much, guys. We have Holiday Spirits Volume 2. I still have collective exclusives of Volume 1 with art by Brian Silverbacks. We will have them available leading up to Collective Con. We'll have them here at Collective Con next Saturday. Travis can sign them. Heather can sign them. It should be a fun day.
Gambit did a pinup. Gambit can sign
Gambit
it.
did a pinup. Gambit can sign it. So it should be a fun day. $19.99. Thank you guys for coming on the show. I can't wait for the next one.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
So thank you, especially to Travis and Jerome. It is great to talk about holiday spirits. I'm going to grab myself one of those Dr. Seuss covers, but that Frank Frazetta cover is mint as well. Take it easy, guys, and we will see you next Thursday, 5:30 for the Collective Spotlight Show. Have a good one.